Hi, my name is Dawn Lee, and I'm your local realtor with Seaside Realty. Today, I would like you to meet Chuck Hartman. He's the owner of The Telephone Guy. So, Chuck, how long have you been living here, and when and how did you start your business?
Well, hi, Dawn. Very nice to be with you today. Thanks for your interest in my business. I've been here for over 20 years, and I started my business over 20 years ago as what is called an accidental entrepreneur. And an accidental entrepreneur is somebody who loses their job by some means they didn't expect, and they're forced by circumstance to try to make it on their own. So 20 years ago, this past July, that happened to me. I was summoned in my manager's office and told I was out of a job. And so for the last 20 years, I've been doing the same type of work, but on my own. And now I have people or persons that work for me. And I find it has been a very successful, transition from the corporate world to, self-employed world.
So would you say you do mostly commercial or do you do residential?
90% commercial. There are residential properties that I do work in. However, typically the kind of work I would do in a residential side would be if you have a home office and you need to have a network set up, with peripherals, printers, and so forth. I can help with that. I've even done work on a farm now where I'm setting up all the outbuildings to communicate with the farmhouse. Right. And so that's kind of a writ large example of a home networking setup. You basically have devices that have to talk to each other and talk to the internet. Okay. So it says on the telephone guy, but in reality, as technology has moved forward, so have I, or else I'd be out of a job.
Right.
Yeah.
It's evolved.
Yes, it's evolved. I hope to have evolved too, but who knows?
So what are your goals this year?
Well, for this year, I want to make sure that I can shift as I'm getting older into a more of a management and administrative mode and have others do the actual grunt work of doing the delivery of service. I'm pretty good at the managing part of my business. And it always is nice to have people like Don around who can point out process improvements and how I run my show. But yes, I'm just trying to fine tune it because I am getting to that age where you start to wonder, should I be doing this, forever, or do I need to take a break? My goal is to be a little bit of a mix where I'm going to work, most days, but the days I want to have off, I'm going to create a situation where I can take those off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us how we can get a hold of you. It looks like you might be interviewing.
Well, I can be reached at www.thetelephone.guy.com. That is my website, hosted by your brother. And then the phone number is 757-567-1469. If you have any networking issues that you might need some professional consultation on, then you might want to give me a call. The one thing I don't do, though, which is kind of a lot of calls I get, is to run wiring in a residential structure, and that is very difficult. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now that it's probably something that I wouldn't do, but I will say this about that, which is that in the telecom world right now, there's this big thing called 5G. 5G has a lot of promise. And one of the big promises of 5G is that in the future, which is rapidly approaching, you'll be able to have devices in your house that do not need wires, even cable modems and other devices from your carrier. Everything's going to be running on 5G. So for those folks who want to get a computer or something in a bedroom that is hard to wire, or you can never get somebody to come in and do that kind of work, have some patience, because products are coming online now that will eliminate the need for you to need any of that kind of data infrastructure work.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's good to know. So, there's been a lot of hype about 5G, but the reality is that this will revolutionize service delivery for all the content providers, from Verizon, Cox, and any other, there'll be other players that come on the scene that aren't necessarily locally based, because they don't need to have any telephone poles or service delivery pathways or rights of way or any of the other stuff that is required to actually set up a brick and mortar interconnect in Hampton Roads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the update. All right. Well, you have a nice holiday, and we'll catch up with you in the new year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Don.
Christmas.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Meeting you.